Hello everyone, Fast Edit here, and this video is how to get your knee down on a smaller standard size bike, kind of like the 390 Duke I have right here. So if you watch my other video, it's not much different of the same basics. Just like my other video, for any type of cornering, you want to get your body set up first, then you turn your head, and then you turn the bike. So body, head, bike. The only thing's a little bit different with the smaller CC standard bike when you're upright, or if you're on a sport bike, it's the same thing. Obviously it's a little bit lighter bike, but one thing definitely changes is, so keep in mind basics, the more you lean, the more the risk. So the idea of doing this is to try to keep the bike upright as much as possible. Just in case you hit some gravel or a dip or a bump, you're not too far leaned over where the tires and the traction will just be slipped out. If the bike is more upright and you hit a little bit of gravel or bumps, the suspension could deal with it better. And this could be done with or without sticking out your knee. It's the same body position. But one thing I want to focus on with this video, especially on a smaller CC bike, so when I jump on the bike, as you can see from this kind of angle, I'm on the bike. Of course, tippy toes are on the pegs and you can see where my foot is. Don't put your foot like this or over here like that, because if your toe ever touches the ground, it might get ripped off. So get your toe even all the way up against the bike as much as possible. This bike is really cool. It has this big metal thing right here. And I almost put my pinky toe and my foot up and out of the way, just like this. So your tippy toes are on the pegs, butts all the way back up against the seat. Again, a common mistake is people do, they kind of slide off and they're doing this, and their head and shoulders and everything are facing that way, but I'm trying to go that way. So you want to try to get your whole body facing towards where you want to go. And this is the main thing I want to focus on with this video. This works for all bikes, of course, but especially smaller CC bikes, is you want to really make sure the outside arm is pushing the bike away. So you're going on like this, you're getting your thing. So your outside arm is almost straight. So any type of sport bike or standard bike, you're almost trying to imagine your arm is resting on the gas tank. I can't do it on this bike, so there's a little bit of a gap, but on a full sport bike, you would definitely have it up. Arm straight out, pushing the bike up, resting on the gas tank. Again, you want to get your head to the inside or right by your mirror. So if your mirrors are field goal posts and your head is a football, I want you to miss. And now guide everything else where it's supposed to go. So the only thing I think about, butt back, I open up my knee, right, on my tippy toes. If my head is like this, I made the field goal. If I think about missing the field goal, it automatically puts me where I'm supposed to be. So a couple things to watch for this video. I'm going to take off. I'm going to go down, I'll come back around. So the amazing cameraman is going to watch me come down in a straight line. And I want you to notice how I'm pushing the bike the opposite way of where I'm going. So I'm coming down in a straight line. It's not just going to be coming down in a straight line and get my body all set up and everything. I'm really going to try to push the bike up and away before I ever turn the bike. No matter what you're doing, you're practicing this stuff. However you're set up before the turn begins, once you begin the turn, there's no more movement. It don't matter if you're all jacked up. Just be all jacked up for that corner, but don't try to bounce around or adjust in the corner. That's too much for the suspension to deal with. That's why you get everything set up before the turn begins. Because the only thing you need to do before the turn your head and go into the corner and out of the corner, but don't try to bounce around. So check it out, smaller adventure bike, how to get your knee down. Body, head, bike, and the same thing applies, right? Once you're ready to turn, you look where you want to go, you push forward on the hand grip until you get the desired lean you want. And if your knee doesn't actually touch the ground, okay, well, that's why you're practicing. Go around and around and around until you get comfortable with this. Again, I'm in a big empty parking lot, full gear. I'm going less than 25 miles per hour. And if you get comfortable doing this in a big empty parking lot, your next goal is to go to a racetrack and try to do it at double the speed or whatever you're doing. Again, I am not saying go out and try this on the public road or anything else. There's no need, it's too risky, it's too dangerous. You can't do it here on any type of bike. There's no reason to ever try it out there unless you're going to a track. Check it out. if you see me came around, right, I'm getting my body off the bike. I'm trying to keep my outside arm straight. So as I come back around this time, I'm gonna be to the inside of the cameraman, and then the cameraman will follow me go through, so you can also see how it looks from the back when I'm going down through this way. Again, just to remind people, because people have been asking, man, the bike's barely leaning. Yeah, that's the point. I don't want to lean the bike all the way down. There's a time and place to do that. If the cameraman could come in and look at these tires, right? If you look down at the tires, look how much they're gripped off. The foot pegs are scraped up. Both tires are all jacked up all the way to the edge. When I take this bike to the track, I'm pushing this thing hard. I'm riding really damn hard. And I'm getting all the way down to the edge of both tires, scraping my foot pegs. I'm not gonna be pushing the bike that fast, that hard in a parking lot. The racetrack is controlled. The grip is amazing. I'm going way faster. So then I could go faster, which will make the bike lean more, etc., etc. But the idea of doing this is not to make the bike lean. I want to get the bike upright as possible. There's a lot of reasons for doing that, like I explained in other videos. Again, the main reason is more lean, more risk. More upright the bike, the better the suspension could work, the earlier I could get on the throttle, etc., etc., etc. Again, when I come down, check out when I set up, body, head, bike. And it's not just a slow push on the handlebars and eventually the bike will lean. The corner's already over with, or you're gonna go wide. It needs to be a decision you make. I want to turn the bike now. That needs to be a quick decision. Get the bike to lean over. If you lean a lot in the beginning when you're going the slowest, well, that's better than going really fast through the corner and keep on leaning as you go through. Lean angle and throttle don't really mix. So lean the bike quickly in the beginning when you're going slow. Then as you come out of the corner, you can give it more gas because the bike is coming upright. Check it out. So if you noticed on those last two, once I came down here, I'm all set up. I turned my head. Once I decided to turn, I pushed forward quickly on the handlebar. And if you really pay attention, if you watch the video again, my knee touched the ground almost immediately within the first third of the corner. Because I'm getting the bike to turn over quickly. And then once my knee got on the ground in the very beginning, that's how you know you're doing it right. Then, as I went out through the corner, the last 2/3 of the corner, my knee is off the ground. Well, why is that? Because I'm bringing the bike upright. So the bike is upright before the corner, get the bike to lean, maybe your knee will touch the ground, and then as you come upright, you should be rolling on the throttle, and the bike will get less and less and less lean. So there's how you know if you're gauging yourself when you're practicing. If your knee touches the ground at the very end of the corner, that means you're going faster and you're adding lean. Remember, those two things don't mix. More lean, more risk. And if you're adding more lean and more throttle, that's how you slip and fall very easily. So keep those things in mind. On a smaller bike, well, it's obviously less weight. And less weight, in my opinion, is actually a little bit more difficult than a big old adventure bike like my bike. So you can feel everything a little bit more. It's a little bit more twitchy. With my bike, it's like a tank. Kind of predictable, easy to ride. It kind of slowly goes in and out. But on a smaller CC bike that's a little bit lighter, you have to do a little bit more work with your legs. Now, I'm not saying you have to death squeeze your legs and squeeze as hard as you can. I came down here and I went like this to show your upper body needs to be relaxed no matter what you're doing, even if you're doing knee dragging stuff. So this is how to get your knee down. I'll kind of label it maybe part 2 on a smaller CC bike, but this has a lot more in-depth information than my basic video a little bit ago. So I hope this helps. Get out there and practice, and I'll see you next time.